Hey folks, it's Scott here, Open-Minded Movie Man, coming to you with another movie review. Technically I'm doing a re-review of Creed 2 because I wasn't satisfied on how that review turned out. I felt like I was kind of all over the place and was not getting to the points that I liked and the cons and the pros and stuff like that. So I'm going to redo this review so I can sound a little bit more confident. And so yeah, I saw Creed 2 a little over a week ago. I actually saw it on my birthday, in fact, because I saw it at the Draft House, Alamo Draft House, because I'm a Alamo Victory Rewards member, and you get a free movie on your birthday. And I figured I'd take advantage of that opportunity to see Creed 2 because I honestly was not a big fan of the first movie. I thought the first Creed film, was rather mediocre, and Michael B. Jordan's performances as Creed was also kind of mediocre. And then again, it was also the script that kind of let him down. I thought it was a poorly written script, especially how he handled quitting his job. And I thought, like I said, he always would go, yeah, well, yeah, something like that for the most of the time, except towards the end where he didn't come across as an immature little punk at most. That's what he kind of was. I know Matt didn't like the film. I don't think Mike did either, so I can't blame him on that. I didn't hate it as badly as they did, but I'm honestly not impressed with it, so yeah. But that's just my 2 cents. I thought Stallone did fine in the first one, but I don't like how they gave him fucking cancer. I think that was really fucking stupid. You shouldn't give your fucking character, the one who had those great moments, and the person that you rooted for, you gotta give him cancer. No, he deserves better than that. I'm sorry. His performance was good, but come on. He did not deserve to fucking get cancer. Anyways, that's another tangent. So, on to Creed 2. What do I think? I do think it's an improvement on the first one, that's for sure. I think Michael B. Jordan had something to do and a little more dynamic to him and some challenges to overcome. He still kind of had that selfish, kind of immature little punk in him still, but it wasn't as badly. He was put through the ringer, not just in the ring, but on the outside of life. And, overcoming challenges like that, such as, family and knowing, dealing with the person and that person's son, and the person's son's father is the one that killed your father in the boxing ring. Is not easy to deal with, so I can kind of understand that from that aspect. I like the fact that that also it showed the Soviet side and what Ivan Drago and his son are burdened with and going through with. I kind of wish they would have touched on that a little more, but for what they showed, I thought it was done okay. I just wish they would have expanded on that a little bit. But anyways, we do see that Ivan Drago has had kind of a bit of a rough life, and we also see that Creed's definitely living a very good life because he's like 23-1 in the title, or the world champion. He knocks this one guy out. He knocks this Ricky Collin guy out, and just with a few blows, without much effort. And I will admit that it's kind of an underwhelming fight because there wasn't much going on. But yeah, it shows that Creed uses his speed and his agility to his advantage, and that's how he won. But anyways, back on the cast, you have of course Michael B. Jordan coming back as Creed. You have Sylvester Stallone returning as Rocky. Tessa Thompson returns as Bianca, Creed's girlfriend, and then eventually becomes his wife. And you also have Dolph Lundgren returning as Ivan Drago, reprising his role from Rocky IV. And you have Florian. I forget how you pronounce his last name, but we'll just call him Florian. He plays plays Ivan Drago's son, Victor. And other cast members, let's see if I can scroll down. We have Andre Ward, who's not Andre Ward, sorry. We have Wood Harris, who plays the little Duke, who's the son of Duke Evans in the previous Rocky films. He does okay with what he's given to work with. And we also have Vasila Richard playing Creed's Adonis' stepmother and Apollo's widow. She comes back briefly. And she's there for the moment, but she's not really given a whole lot to do, so. And then we also we have Bridget Nielsen coming back for a bit, who's Ivan Drago's ex-wife, Ludim. I don't know how you pronounce that. Anyways, she's there briefly. She does, I guess, okay, but she's not really given much to work with, and plus she's really not that great of an actress, but that's a whole other tangent. But anyways, we see that from both sides, Ivan Drago and his son have fallen on hard times. They, work a pretty, how should I put this? I guess you can say rough life, because they have to work to survive, and apparently Ivan Drago has lost a great deal of things. But then this promoter by the name of Marcel, I don't know if I can find the actor who plays. Oh yeah, Russell Hornsby. He's the one that comes to Ivan and sets up a potential match between him, or his son, and Adonis, to maybe see how much it's Creed versus Drago. This is a way to get a most watched network, and Ivan sees this as a chance to kind of recapture the glory and the fame that he lost when he lost to Rocky in Rocky IV. So there's that. But anyways, eventually they get involved. They eventually do fight, and apparently this time Rocky's not all for it, because he saw how this happened with Apollo, and he decided he can't support this, and so Adonis is like, fine, he still comes across as a bit of an immature punk for a little bit, but eventually he kind of learns to grow and learn from it. So I felt like this time Michael B. Jordan's acting was improved. He was willing to. He showed that he was struggling, and he's willing to overcome those odds, like having a family or having a kid, and the fact that his girlfriend/wife has a bit of a hearing problem, and she has to wear a hearing aid to be able to hear people talk. So that's not exactly easy. And the fact that your firstborn daughter has that, it's kind of sad, but unfortunately that's life. And also the fact that he lost in an embarrassing fashion to Victor, because he gets a pretty brutal beatdown from him, like 2 busted ribs and a messed up kidney, and he's in the hospital for a while. So he's badly beaten and broken, and let's see. I was trying to look for that other word. Basically his body and ego and just heart's kind of shattered right now and not in a good place, and it's taken him a while to overcome it. His wife has trouble reaching him, but eventually Rocky comes around and they eventually make up, and then in order to maybe secure the fact that he's still at the title, he only still retains the world champion title, mainly because Drago kind of crossed the line when Creed was down. He gave him a blow to the head, probably because of the fact that Creed got a little personal with his father Ivan, though it was kind of Ivan's fault because he kind of instigated that whole little event. But anyways, we see that Rocky takes him to this place in California where fighters are reborn, and he learns some new tactics, and he learns to get stronger, like in the abdomen, kind of use this weight and that's wrapped around his head to kind of build a little more more muscle to his face, and become more stronger and agile. He tried to use his speed and agility against Victor, but it didn't work because Victor is a far more taller opponent. He's more brawny, he's more muscular, and he's a big dude. And that's not going to be easy to defeat, because apparently Victor himself always knocks his opponents out in the 4th round. So eventually Creed gets stronger. He learns new tactics. He learns that he has to take the blows a little better. Can't always rely on his speed and agility. So I like that it shows that he can get underneath a new training regimen. And this time in the rematch, he manages to fight against Drago and gain the upper hand. So yeah. As for the pros and cons, the cons, I felt like the movie overall was kind of predictable. And looking back, I think it kind of stole a little bit from Rocky III as well. Like, for example, Rocky lost to his first match against Clubber Lang, and then in the second match, he eventually regains the title and beats him convincingly this time. So that's what it kind of reminded me of. Also, I felt like there were some things they kind of left out, or I wish they would have not done, or like I don't know how they handled that wedding. I don't know if Creed and Bianca got married already. It seemed like it happened fast or something. I don't know. Or just maybe the timeline didn't flow right or something like that, because he's already having a kid. It's been, what, almost 9 months since she had a kid and he lost the match. Kind of didn't make sense to me. But anyways, and to be honest, I felt like the film was predictable in a sense, because like I felt like it borrowed from Rocky 3, because I have a feeling he was going to win that second match, even though the second match lasted like 10, 11 rounds, and he starts landing a series of blows, and eventually he does he kind of almost knocks him out, but then Drago realizes that, you know, Victor's taking a lot of brutal hits, and he actually does something brave for the first time. He actually throws in the towel to show that he loves his son. He does not want to lose him, because he's pretty much lost everything. His wife, the upscale life, and the standards that was bestowed on him, because, you know, Russia has some pretty high standards of what's expected of you, especially if you're in the boxing or sports and the athletic world, so to speak. So anyway, anywho, now the pros. I think Michael B. Jordan did a much better job acting-wise. I think the script was a little better, mainly because this time we had Stallone. We had another writer. His name, let me go back up here. Let's find his guy. Jewel Taylor, or I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but I know Stallone had a hand in writing the script, so maybe that's why overall the dialogue or the script overall was better, I think, because Stallone had a hand in it this time, because he only produced the first one. He had no involvement in the script at all, so maybe that's why it flowed a lot better. And what I also like, towards the end, spoilers, I should have said spoilers already, but anyways, spoilers, he does eventually reconcile with his son. That's why I think I mentioned that Milo returns, so it's good to see him back. I'm glad he gets to have that closure and, you know, be with his son. And I thought the box choreography was a little better this time. I thought everyone else's acting was better. I think, like I said, this time, you kind of feel for the characters a little bit more. I didn't really feel for much in the first one, but I feel like just when they've been going through a lot and all that stuff, I feel like I can relate to that to some extent. So yeah, and by the way, Stallone, please don't kill Rocky off. Don't do that. Don't kill him off like this. I mean, just end it right here. You got to reunite with your son. I think that's really good closure. I'm glad they didn't bring the cancer back up. That's another thing I liked. I'm glad they didn't bring that back. But anyways, I'm glad. Just end it right here. Just if you're gonna do another Creed film, if you have to mention Rocky, just tell him he's living a great life with his son. He's rebuilding a relationship with his son. That's where I would leave it. So yeah. And what else? I don't think I have any more to say. I think overall, out of 5 stars, I'd give it maybe 3.5. It's an improvement. It's a bit predictable. I felt like the story structure could have been ironed out a little better. And I kind of wish they would have expanded a little bit on the more side from the Drago side a bit more. I mean, we kind of see that, but I wish they would have fleshed it out a little more. That's probably one other flaw. But other than that, I'm glad that Dolph Lundgren came back, and I'm glad that we sort of see a little redemption for his character to show that he, you know, is after all human, and he's willing to care about someone, especially if it's his own son. So yeah, excuse me. Overall, I say, you know, if you want to give Creed 2 a chance, go ahead and see it. Give it a shot. I might see it again, maybe on Tuesdays. By the way, I plan on doing reviews for Overlord, and then I saw Dr. Seuss's The Grinch last week as well. Saw them both on Tuesday, and I'll explain why. But you know what? That's going to do it for me. I'm done with this review, and I think it came out better. Hopefully it did, but yeah. Anyways, I will see you in another video. Later.